Hello, my name is Caitlin Rule. Thank you so much for joining in on my presentation. As you know, the superintendent has asked me to create a presentation for you on cultural responsive instruction and behavior support practices. So I've done some research and now I'm ready to let you in on some information. So let's get started on the current methods and practices that we already have in store in our district and school. So if we're looking at the culturally responsive instruction in our school really digs into creating classroom culture that is welcoming to all learners. If you walk in a classroom, you can look around and you can see different posters, you can see different things on the wall, you can see different students getting engaged with each other. The classroom culture is really big in our school. We also allow students to collaborate and work in groups. We communicate clear, high expectations for everyone. We also communicate and work with parents and guardians on a regular basis. We use the student's background knowledge to gain more information about how that student learns and how they can be the most successful. And we build routines that students can take home with them. If we're looking at the behavior support practices, our school has a school-wide positive behavior plan called CI3T. In Tier 1, the prevention framework is used to teach a range of new behaviors and ensure continued use of established behaviors using positive reinforcement. So behavior-specific praise can also be used as a targeted support at Tier 2 and as an element of Tier 3 supports. Emphasizing cultural equity in which differences are acknowledged and accommodated. Educators also may collect additional data to describe a student's behavior and the context, such as consequences. And we can use that information and that data to create an action plan or request assistance or create an individualized behavior support plan if needed. So now we know the current methods and practices that we have at our school and district. Let's check out the people responsible in these situations. So the people responsible for seeking out students who would benefit from these methods and practices are, well, first and foremost, the teachers. The teachers spend the most time with their students in the classroom. We can have them commit to know their students academically and culturally to better understand the teaching and learning dynamic. We can also look at administrators to design a professional development support system that can help students really gain, or help their teachers really gain knowledge about how to reach each and every student. We can also look at parents. If we look for the parents and we are communicating with them, working with them, they may feel empowered when offering input on how to reach their children from culturally diverse backgrounds, which can end up fostering a stronger and healthier parent-school relationship. All right, now we know the people responsible. Let's check out the level of impact. So the level of impact this can have on faculty members who are already involved it'll help those faculty members gain knowledge of their own self-culture. They can also gain knowledge of their students and family culture. They can create a diverse school culture in their classroom and help that go throughout their school. They can create a safe environment for everyone involved. Students and staff can feel accepted when they walk into the classroom in the school, and they can encourage youth to explore and celebrate their own cultural identity. The level of impact this can have on students involved are the students will feel support to be themselves. They'll feel safe when they walk into the classroom. It'll boost their confidence. They'll be eager to get involved. Their interest to learn about themselves and others will really fire, and they'll take ownership about their learning and be more successful. Which faculty members and students should be involved but aren't? Well, first, educators must investigate their own heritage, upbringing, and potential culture and racial biases. Because there's some educators who know a little bit about their heritage and upbringing, but really haven't dug deep in their own. To help the educators really learn about themselves, maybe that will help them be able to impact more on their students. And learning about their students is the key to culturally responsive teaching. So those faculty members and students need to be able to learn about each other. They can send out surveys out to parents, and that can really help teachers to learn more about their students and maybe help the parents and students be able to talk to each other about their own heritage and upbringing. And you could ask students to take a walk with their parents and ask them questions and maybe gain knowledge in that way. So let's check out some culture responsive instruction methods that I found doing some research. So here are some top 10 ones that I found. Number 1 is you could survey the classroom environment. Just look around your room and look and see, do you feel like if you were from a different culture, you could walk in and feel accepted in this room? Do you have posters around? Do you have signs? Do you have different things written on the wall? What kind of accepting culturally atmosphere are you presenting? 2, create a student-centered classroom. Give students a voice. Help them to know that they can be heard and that it's okay to speak up if they need to. 3, learn a few words in their native language. So this is especially for ELL students or students who come and don't really speak English or the language that you speak. So you can help them feel more at home and feel safe. 4, explore the variety of cultures. So explore the variety of cultures in this world, not just those found inside the classroom. So really look at all ethnicity, religion, gender, etc., not just the ones in your classroom. Number 5, use students' background knowledge from their families, communities, and lived experiences to find ways they process and retain new information. 6, include choices on assignments and multiple question formats on assessments. So giving students a choice. Number 7, use instructional materials that relate to a variety of cultures. Number 8, use students' cultural experiences in daily instruction. Number 9, pronounce names correctly. So names are attached to identity. So when you're constantly calling someone the wrong name, it makes them feel like they're not special, and it can really just kind of dig in deeper than just calling someone the wrong name. So practice, maybe ask the student how to pronounce their name if you don't know, and then if you find out, maybe go home and practice how to say their name. Number 10, engage parents in this cultural socialization. So it promotes the development of racial, cultural, or ethnic identity that builds a connection or strengthens youth's sense of group membership. So we've looked at culturally responsive instruction methods. Now let's take a look at the top 10 behavior support practices that I found while researching. So number 1, understand cultural mediation and implement cultural responsive practices. Number 2, use data for continuous improvement and innovation. Number 3, examine cultural patterns as they relate to student discipline. Number 4, enhance staff members' cultural knowledge and self-awareness. Number 5, validate other people's cultures. Students' cultural identity is acknowledged rather than colorblinded. Number 6, emphasize cultural equity, in which differences are acknowledged and accommodated. Number 7, problems are examined at the school level rather than at the student level. Number 8, build cultural responsiveness in school practices. Number 9, obtain parents' perceptions about values, systems, and practices to attend the voices of families from various cultural backgrounds. Teach respect to model caring. Relationships are promoted, and teaching and learning is facilitated. So now you know my top 10 of both. How can these benefit students the most from these practices for the students that we already have in our school and classroom? Well, students with higher than average levels of off-task behavior, students with low independence, they begin to think that way even when you're not in the classroom to reinforce that way of thinking. Students from culturally diverse backgrounds, students who are new to the country and speak little or no English, and students with unique strengths, more choice and options. So now let's look and see how can we take these and implement them today, right now. So the methods identified to be the most effective and easiest to implement right now that you could take home to your own classroom, I picked a few. You could inspect your own classroom environment for posters and signs. If you don't have any, you could get some. You could help create a student-centered classroom. Provide direction on how to give students a voice. You can start now. You can learn a few words in an ELL student's native language. You can provide more choice on assignments. Give multiple question formats on assessments. You can practice student name pronunciations and communicate with parents to engage in cultural socialization. Those are some things you can do right now. So there's also things you can do right now to help with the behavior support. You can take and use data for continuous improvement and innovation. You can examine cultural patterns as they relate to student discipline. You can enhance staff members' cultural knowledge and self-awareness. You can research and validate other people's cultures. You can emphasize cultural equity, acknowledge and accommodate differences. Examine problems at school level rather than at the student level. You can learn parents' perceptions about values, systems, and practices. And you can teach respect to model caring. Those are some things you can do right now. So I hope that you were able to take something from my presentation that you didn't know before. And I hope that you can take them and take them back to your classroom and start now. Here are my references I used for this presentation. Thank you so much.